I have the Fayetteville Area Metropolitan Planning Organization Executive Director Hank Graham here today, Cumberland County Sheriff Jonathan Morgan, Grace Creek Fire Chief L.B. Harrigan, Ballpark Director David Pate, Seth, and Joint Planning Member and Eastover Board Member Stan Crumple. And myself, I'm Robb Twaddell. So let's start about the town structure and everyday services. It's a changing community. Look around this room. We are all here because we love Grace Creek. We love the open spaces, our family farms, our quiet neighborhoods, and the right-knit community built here. But as you all know, our community is changing fast. Growth is coming at us from every single direction. And right now, critical decisions about what happens to our own backyard is being made by people who don't live here. Incorporation of Grace Creek isn't about creating big government. It's about drawing a clear line in the sand to protect our natural rural way of life. It finally gives us a local voice and absolutely local control over our own destiny. The blueprint includes 4 principles. Tonight, we are laying out the clear blueprint of the possible future of Grace Creek. To officially incorporate a town of North Carolina, we are legally required to provide a specific set of core principal services. To meet these requirements without building an unneeded bureaucracy, we have designed a lean, smart charter centered around these 4 principles. They include public safety, economic development, recreation, and public works. Neighbors, when I lay out these principles, or proposal for incorporation of Grace Creek, we need to comfortably erase the image of massive city that is filled with hundreds of full-time pencil-pushing employees. I am proposing to implement a lean government model that keeps the administrative footprint incredibly small. We are not establishing a large police department. We're proposing buying dedicated deputy hours from the sheriff. We are not buying fire trucks. We are supporting the existing volunteer fire departments that we have in Grace Creek. We are not buying heavy dump trucks or garbage fleets. We are hiring private local contractors only when we need a street paved or trash collected. We're not hiring an army of bureaucrats. This town will operate with minimal staff and keep overhead exceptionally low. Initially, our focus will be strictly on high priority local needs, local trash collection, options, maintaining our own planning and zoning requests, and maintaining a community standards. Leaving our money at home. Let's look at the hard numbers. Because I know everyone wants to know, what is this going to cost me and what are we going to get in return? Right now, when you shop, a portion of the sales tax goes straight to the state and the county. Grace Creek never sees a dime of it back. By incorporating a massive share of those tax dollars is automatically redirected back into our community. Based on local economic data, we project that by incorporating, we will capture $6 million in sales tax revenue and another $1 million in utility franchise tax revenue annually. Neighbors, that's $7 million of our own money kept right here in Grace Creek. To meet strict state requirements and safety fund for our local services, we are proposing a conservative ad valorem property tax rate of 0.21 cents per $100,000 or $100 in value. To put it in perspective, that home raised a value of $200,000. That's about a $10 increase per month. When you combine that with modest property tax with $7 million, we are pulling back sales and utility taxes. It allows us to run a completely balanced budget. Revenues are expected to be approximately $17 million. We can fund our own public safety, zoning protections, local services without relying heavily on your pockets. It's a small, smart investment that protects our property values and gives us total financial control over our future. Number one, public safety, police and fire. Now let's look at how the money builds in our fourth pillar, starting with public safety. Let me be completely direct with you. Your fire protection will not change. Stations 18 and 24 will continue to protect exactly what they do tonight. And our excellent as ISO rating remains completely secure. However, we are going to significantly enhance our police coverage. Current coverage includes just one single deputy covering the entire area. To fix this, we will use the captured revenue to contract directly with the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office to fund additionally dedicated deputies whose only job is to patrol within the Grace Creek boundaries. They stay here, delivering much faster response times. Later on down the road, the board can determine if providing our own independent police department could be cost-effective and valuable. But either way, this immediate increase in police presence will provide the adequate protection that we deserve. Pillar 2, economic development and zoning. Our second pillar, economic development, which will control directly through our Joint Commission on Planning and Inspections Department. Right now, without a town government, we have no legal voice when outside developers want to drop a massive project right here in our homes. We are watching this happen right now on Sandhill Road. Home Mills has planned a massive 650-unit, high-density housing development right here next to the Walmart distribution center. The surrounding homeowners have no local board to fight them and no voice to stop it. Obtaining our own local planning authorization changes that game. It gives us a permanent veto card and protects rural backyards from overdevelopment. Pillar 3, public works and clean water. Our third pillar is public works, which includes street maintenance and sanitation. By taking over the neighborhood with subdivisions, road patching, we legally unlock North Carolina's Powell bill funding. That means the state will send us gas tax money directly to our town and pay for it with road repairs rather than letting it go downtown. We will also manage localized sanitation contracts to keep our community clean. Consolidating municipal service under a single payer contract for trash service secures deeply discounted wholesale rates, eliminates individual billing, and deploys fully optimized route planning to slash heavy vehicle neighborhoods by up to 70%. Most importantly, as a town, we will act as a powerful, unified advocate for clean water infrastructure for all residents in Grace Creek. Pillar 4, low overhead public recreation, neighbors. To further secure our town charter with the North Carolina law, we are establishing public recreation on our fourth core municipal pillar. With our rural community, we don't need a large, massive city-style parks and recreation department that drains our wallet just to build a multi-million-dollar back to the border sports complexes. Instead, we are focusing on community-driven, low overhead recreation. To keep this pillar incredibly lean, we are standing firm on what it is will not be building. We are not paving our beautiful farmland for urban park structures. We are not completely opting out of municipal street lighting networks to keep our night skies dark in the rural. The common sense recreation strategy fully satisfies the state charter requirements, bringing our community closer together and keeps our budget tightly controlled. The financial reality, the 6-cent net tax. By limiting our government strictly to these core principles, our total proposed town tax rate locks in at 21 cents per $100 value. Now let's look at the real math in more time. Because of this new town tax completely absorbing and replacing the current 15-cent rural tax district tax, your actual net increase will only be 6 cents. As I mentioned, for the $20,000 or $200,000 home, that is just $10 a month. For the price of a single fast food meal each month, we capture $17 million of our own money, increase public safety, secure our borders, fix our roads, protect our night skies, and preserve the rural way that we love. A lean board of directors. Our town government will essentially function as a lean board of directors, staffed entirely on the elected neighbors, whose primary job is to manage those with high efficient, cost-effective service contracts. The proposed town board will consist of 6 residents serving on 3-year terms, elected on a staggering schedule of 2 vacancies per year. This allows for no total turnover, electing all 6 at the same time to get a rotation. Institutional knowledge, you still have 4 experience on board at any election period. Seamless project management. Smaller 2 open seat focused elections, meaning you don't have to pay, have those 6, at a time. And equal neighborhood representation. This lean framework is exactly why we don't need a heavy tax rate. It is why we can provide a complete municipal shield, fix our neighborhood potholes, and put dedicated deputies on the streets for actual net tax increase of just 6 cents. We get a maximum community protection with minimal government load. From now on, decisions will be made, if we incorporate, at a local town hall meeting just down the street, not across the county. It is a simple, streamlined approach designed to give the maximum local authority with minimum government interference. Let's start with how. So, is Commissioner Henry Tyson here? No? All right. So, on a county commissioner standpoint, basically nothing will change on a county commissioner website level. And give the Cumberland County is not going anywhere. We're going to work with Cumberland County commissioners to do the daily county commissioner roles, and that includes schools and assisting with our development planning. If you call 911, they'll handle their 911 calls, social services, waste management, like the Ann Street landfill. You pay Cumberland County 49 cents for those services. They will also be an advocate for a water project as well. Now I'd like to present Hank Graham. Hank Graham is the Executive Director of Fayetteville Area Metropolitan Planning Organization. He has some comments to say.
Good evening, everyone. The Fayetteville Area Metropolitan Planning Organization is a federally mandated organization for all urbanized areas throughout the entire country of the United States. We focus on distribution of all of our transportation funds for all of our roadways, public transit, greenways, bicycle trails, sidewalks, every form of transportation within these urbanized areas. For the Fayetteville Urban Area Metropolitan Planning Organization, even though my office is housed at Cumberland County, we cover the southern half of Harnett County. That's considered the urbanized area of Fayetteville. We cover the eastern side of Polk County. We cover the entire military reservation for Fort Bragg. And we cover the northern area or northern tip of Robeson County, including the town of Parkton. I focus on transportation, distribution of transportation dollars and funds that are allocated from our national Congress. When they adopt the federal transportation bill, all of those dollars are then distributed based on population for each state. And then within the state of North Carolina, it's then trickled down and distributed formulaically again by population for all of the urbanized areas within the state of North Carolina. It's a lot of money. The United States has a lot of money. I don't know if many of you know that, but it does.
Well, yeah, come out of my pocket.
Right. Taxes, of course. General information that I'm providing to you guys, yes, as Dr. Twaddell mentioned, each incorporated city in the state of North Carolina, if they are incorporated, there's power bill funds that the North Carolina legislature established many years ago. It's a dollar amount of funding that's given to every incorporated city in the state of North Carolina for roads and road maintenance for roads that are not considered state maintained roads. So if you guys have rural or local roads and streets, you would receive, if you were to incorporate, you would receive a dollar amount of funds to maintain those roads. That pot of money, of course, has not grown significantly in many years as well. If you add new cities, it's just going to make the distribution of the formula based on population a little lower. But you would be eligible for a cut for power bill funds to maintain your local roads. Securing a voting seat on the FAMPO board. If this area were to incorporate, we are currently comprised, I mentioned our urbanized or regional area that's considered urban or metropolitan. We do have board representation from the County Commission Board of Harnett, Moore County, Polk County, Cumberland County, and Robeson County, and all of the municipalities within each one of those areas. We have city council member representative from Rayford, Parkton, as I mentioned, Eastover, Oak Mills. City of Fayetteville has 2 representatives as they cover 45% of our total population formulaically. But if in fact this area were to incorporate, they would also receive, or you would receive a seat on our transportation board and have some additional direct input on the distribution of your transportation dollars that would come to our overall urbanized area for the city of Fayetteville. In addition to that, I don't want to speak to the zoning authority when they plan. Neighbors and transportation planning isn't just about asphalt and concrete. It's about self-determination. It's about ensuring that your local gas tax dollars come back to your area formulaically based on your population and all of that. You know, it's all of these formulas and all of these funding, all of the tax dollars that you pay, gas tax, every time you fill up your car at the pump. Yes, a portion of that goes to road maintenance, new road construction, things of that nature. God, it is hard. the decision that you guys have before you, yes, you would have direct responsibility and authority over the dollars that you spend, regarding transportation. I'm just talking transportation. I am more than happy to answer any questions that anyone may have regarding, potential funding and dollars coming back to this area if you were to make a decision to incorporate and become a city of your own. Yes. Yes.
So you mentioned that the municipalities in this, we're a county. So what portion of this funding do we see as a county? Do we not see any of it? Does it just go to municipalities?
You do, as far as like your area. So this portion or this area or part of,
You have a microphone for the people that are speakers on the right, let me hear that here.
you can't hear her? Okay, I'll apologize. Oh, you want to repeat the question? Go ahead.
Repeat the question, please.
So he talked about the Fayetteville metropolitan area and how the money gets distributed to the municipalities. My question is, does that mean as a county, we don't see any of this money? And he's going to answer that question.
Yes, so this area or section of Cumberland County is within our Fayetteville Metropolitan Planning Organization boundary. Everything east of the river down here is within my area. As I mentioned, the northern part of Robeson County that includes Parkland is within. All of our funds primarily are distributed formulaically, and the formula is based on population. And so this area's population is included in all of the dollars that are distributed to Cumberland County. Of course, as I mentioned, the city of Fayetteville does have the largest concentration or percentage of population, but Cumberland County has the second highest. And so, yes, you do, and you are included in that.
We're going to have public comments at the end, at this time, but the amount of money that we expect for Fayetteville DOT and his organization is about $1.2 million. Any unused funds that doesn't go to this, the towns would go to the county, and then it would be prioritized within the county system, such as if there's a pothole that needs to be repaired, that would go to the county to determine, or actually the state DOT will maintain it, not the county. State DOT would prioritize the need for repair rather than the town determine the immediate need in response to those potholes or things like that. Additionally, those funds can be for sidewalks if desired by the town, and street lighting, street intersections and things like that. So signals, intersection safety, lane widening and things like that. Thank you, Hank. Is Cumberland County Sheriff here? You said it was going to... I'm sorry? Sheriff Morgan lives in Grace Creek. Do I live in Grace Creek? Yes.
Where?
Off St. Joe Road. All right.
What number?
Lovely.
Where are you getting your numbers from that you're put down? Because everything you've talked about are services that we already have.
All right. Let me tell you a little bit about myself, okay? Real quick. My name is Dr. Robb Twaddell. I've been a resident here since 2005. I have two children who both graduated and was students here through elementary school and high school. I'm a chiropractic physician, semi-retiring right now. I do occupational medicine, truck driver physicals. I have the enrollment center for TSA PreCheck. on Breck Boulevard. That's my clinic. Now, why did I do this? I am presenting an idea, okay, to the community about increasing police presence, okay, from increasing 1 patrol a day to a more adequate 4 deputies a day. For this area, we are completely underserved for policing. At this time, we are not having a dedicated, I'm not proposing a dedicated police department. That will be decided if the town becomes incorporated, and that will be decided at a later date. By increasing the number of deputies with Cumberland County Sheriff's Department, we are dramatically increasing from 1 to 4, basically quadrupling, the amount of presence of police protection. Response times in many cases are significantly high. I've heard several stories that might be an hour for response times. But by having a dedicated police force here with more than 1 deputy, it will be necessary to fund those deputies. Now, with fire protection, we will help with fire protection.
We have great fire protection.
I mean, we'll have public response. If you're interested in public response, there's a sign-up sheet up over here. I can't hear you. I cannot hear you.
Can you ask what statistics what statistics back up the need for more police in our community?
The recommended minimum standard would be 16 deputies on patrol, with 4 patrol each day. That would be a rotation, 4 at night, 4 during the day, every other day. So that would require at least 16 deputies rather than 1.
Do you have any numbers about how many deputies actually live out here? Because we don't, in general, I don't think any of us feel unsafe running
Yes,
into
the
it. Like our
crime rate,
deputies.
the crime rate is increased where we feel like we need to.
No, they have not.
All right. All right.
What about trash pickup?
Trash pickup?
That I'm happy.
Yes.
And it costs me $21 a month, and I'm very happy with it.
All right. What? All right.
Okay. Ready? Hey, bud, how you doing? How you folks doing tonight? My name's Toby McDonald. I own Southview Sanitation. And Mr. Twaddell reached out to me just to answer some questions. If this were to come to fruition, being annexed or incorporated, I should say. Yes, we provide service for, I would say, 85% of the homes in Grace Creek. And he wanted to know, because I work at the town of Park, and he wanted to know how it would work if it were to be incorporated. And I told him, I said, well, we offer a yard debris service, a trash service, and a recycling service that we could provide for the town, whether it's through me or any other company that y'all decide to go through. You know, I would be honored to have that service for y'all, but whatever y'all choose to do, that's something that is gonna happen with a township. It would be provided for y'all. Now, like you said, there's 4 or 5 different companies, larger companies that come to the area. I don't need to name them all, but look at the traffic that adds through. So when I was working with another municipality, that's what they wanted to bring down, was the traffic of all the other trucks. You just have one contracted, company to come through. And, but I just wanted to tell you what happens when we contract with a municipality, because Mr. Twaddell wanted me to say that, what happens. I'm neutral on this, whatever happens, I provide the services for you folks either way, but he just wanted me to explain what happens when we were to come in. I would offer me or whatever company you choose, let's just put it like that. There would be a service for recycling, a yard debris, and a trash service. That would be part of your service, and it would be a weekly thing, much like you have right now. So, yes, ma'am.
Will you come 500 feet down my driveway to get the trash like my trash service does now?
Once it's incorporated,
Down my driveway?
yes, we would have to, the town of Fayetteville does, and you would have to provide a satellite truck to do that. Yes, ma'am, we would have to provide that.
You would come?
Yeah, we would have to provide a smaller truck that could fit down there, not something, one of our larger trucks, but it would be part of the service. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Any other questions for me as far as he,
No, I don't.
no, I just wanted to, let you know that's what we would provide if that were to come to fruition, but that's the things that happen with the city, or township, so that's all I can provide.
Okay, all right. All right. So another question is how it affects schools. Cumberland County Schools is obviously part of Cumberland County School Board. We love our schools. From the academic achievements at Grace Creek Elementary to the exceptional programs at the high school, your dedication to education is unmatched. As we deliberate on the historic choices to incorporate, a critical question has surfaced. What happens to our schools? Let me give you a clear perspective from the school system level. Our schools remain proudly under the Cumberland County Schools umbrella. However, gaining municipal town status completely transforms our relationship with the school board, giving us local coverage to protect and elevate our classrooms. Infrastructure and traffic resolution. From a district planning perspective, one of the greatest hurdles facing an unincorporated area is managing the infrastructure surrounding the school campuses. When Grace Creek incorporates into a new town government, it gains the authority over local zoning, neighborhood streets, and pedestrian pathways. Traffic resolution. The heavy vehicle congestion during morning drop-off and afternoon pickup windows on Celebration Drive can finally be managed with local municipal traffic planning. Sidewalk connectivity. As a town, we can utilize local revenues to build safe sidewalks and crosswalks connecting surrounding subdivisions directly to school campuses, and zoning firewalls. A town council can establish strict zoning laws surrounding our schools, preventing industrial development of hazardous commercial facilities from being built near our playgrounds. Enhanced security, and then finally a joint use partnership with our recreation department. In supporting our schools with private funding, we can have a joint relationship with them and use their facilities within our recreation department.
Can you give us a boundary of Grace Creek community which does not include Celebration Drive?
All right.
That is not fire department, that's not.
Thank you, sir.
All right, the proposed boundaries,
I
okay,
don't even know.
what's that?
I don't even believe you know.
I know it. The proposed boundaries is I-95, Cape Fear River, Bladen County line, and Robinson County line, with the exception of Hope Mills Incorporation and municipal influence area. This municipal boundary is 80% of Grace Creek Fire Department District, 20% Cotton Fire Department. We would contract with Cotton Fire Department for that service around Grace Creek High School. Obviously, we would like to incorporate Grace Creek High School and that community as well within the Grace Creek community. The remaining Grace Creek Fire District would be part of Grace Creek Town under this plan. There's no part of Grace Creek that I want to exclude in this proposal if approved by the residents.
So you're gonna contract with all these, places that we already have access to. We already have services from them, but you want us to pay money so that you can have a contract with them that may or may not serve us better than what they do now. Because our services are pretty good at it.
Okay,
Okay, we'll move on to the public.
all right. Final hurdle.
Wait, why don't you repeat the question and then say how you're answering it so the rest of us.
We're not doing the public comment because I'll give you the mic or give the mic during public comment.
Because he's not answering.
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna, why are we here?
Yeah. All right. All right. Now, the planning and development portion, I've had a lot of comments asking about the planning and development portion of Grace Creek. 650 houses development being built on Sand Hill Road. On Firehouse Road, over 50 houses being developed on a farmland. We are having an aging population of farmlands being passed down to generations and being developed into high-density housing development. We have no limited control over this overdevelopment, and by incorporating into town, we will have the final authority of the Grace Creek town. We have representatives from Eastover, Mr. Mayor McLaughlin, and Mr. Stan. He's with the Joint Planning Board. They would be happy to answer any questions how incorporation will affect our planning and development program. Do you want to say again?
My name is Stan Crumpler. I'm a council member in Eastover and also a member of the Joint Planning Board. And if any of you received this in the mail, I didn't write it. I haven't even read all of it, but I'll be happy to answer a lot of your questions, because if anybody needs to be incorporated, judging from what it is between here and 87, y'all need to be incorporated. You will get the benefit of being able to get the final say on whatever comes through. When it goes to the planning board, they will make a decision. They will send it to your municipality, not the county commissioners any longer. So you will have the final say through your elected officials, whoever they may be. They will be able to ones to determine what's going to get built and what won't get built in Grace Creek. So that will be a great benefit for you, because I think if you look around some places in Grace Creek, if you're going to say that was orderly development, I think you'll say no. So if we got questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Hey, I got one.
Yep.
Why do you think about it this road? Right. You have somebody that owns land. This can't be developed. If you're taking my whole life, and I've worked my whole life for to own that land, I'm one of the last few farmers in this community. But if you start this mess you're trying to start, these damn politicians, I promise you, you're wrong. But they can't produce nothing.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
trying to make you something with it. I'm the one that's deserving all these years. Pay these damn taxes. For somebody like this clown to come up here and call us trouble, hell, I don't know.
You need to just go because we're not up to it. We're not gonna sign nothing that you're gonna propose.
I'm not proposing anything. I just came in here to answer questions. And I'm not trying to start anything, sir. I'm just trying to answer questions and say, you will benefit from being able to make your own decisions. If you're on it, you will be able to make your own decisions for what happens in Grace Creek, not the county commissioners.
Through the board. Through the board that you elect.
Public comment?
The planning board is not the final say-so. It would be your municipality.
Yeah.
You will be
With
the,
board members controlling us.
no, we wouldn't control it. We would send it to your municipality people, and they would be the one making the decision, not the county
You
commissioners.
know how that works.
We don't make the final decision at planning board. We only hear the cases and make a recommendation as of now for you to the county commissioners.
All right.
And if you get incorporated, you will make that decision.
You don't want a corporation.
No, we won't make that decision. Once they put in power, like this one that's on your front.
If we move it one time.
Say something.
That's,
It's really up to y'all. It's your decision, not ours. I'm only here to tell you Eastover is better off because of what we did. But let me say this. In 2007, when Fayetteville made the big annexation move, 47,000 people taken in, Eastover was 100% behind our incorporation effort, and we're better off for it. That's all I can say.
they can't do that anymore. They can't annex this one.
How much people live in these countries?
4,000.
4,000. We're looking at 20,000.
I know you're right.
Can we move on to the public comments? I'm hearing a lot of questions being asked.
How's everybody doing tonight? I know you can hear me back there, okay? Look here. I'm not here to talk about Parks and Rec, because the last time I did, I got gut punched somewhere else, okay? And I can handle it. I got the weight to handle it. But listen to me. Rob come to me about 15, 20 years ago when he moved here. Sitting in the parking lot at school picking up our children. He said, dude, why ain't we incorporated? He said, boss, we've tried it twice and failed. So everybody keeps saying he's an implant. I get it. I do. But I do believe he's genuine on what he's trying. He told me, dude, do you know anybody who wants to be the mayor, that wants to get involved and get on the board? So here's the deal. Megan, don't know where you're at, not throwing you under the bus, but hey, you made a comment, come and ask questions. Come and get involved. Hey, I got some stuff in here, I'm not pulling it out tonight. If you knew what I knew, y'all would, he'll step away and let us do it. Let y'all do it. But we need to do this, and I'm gonna throw one example at you. You can do the research. I'm from Bladen County, my family is, moved to Hope Mills, ended up in Grace Creek 40 years ago. Fayetteville Parks and Rec called Bladen County and said, we want to take over the lock and dam. They don't even own the lock and dam. It's owned by the Corps of Engineers. They wanted to put a park down there 2 miles just about away from the county line. Why? Because DuPont told Fayetteville, if you annex us, we will move to the Bladen County line where you cannot touch us. Well, Fayetteville's already in Hope County. There are Hope County people, residents, paying Fayetteville city taxes. And not trying to scare you, but Hope Mills in Fayetteville right now is got lawyers trying to figure out a way. What you said they can't do it no more? They're looking for a way to get around it. Yes, but they're going to find it sooner or later. God, hey, I would love for it to stay like it is. But it's something to look at, the money that will come back into Grace Creek. We, the people, can pick and choose who runs the board. So, I'm gonna tell you, he's a good man. I know y'all gut punch him and tell him to go back where he come from. He lived less than a year and a half in New York. He's been here 22 years.
Sells too many half-truths. He doesn't even have correct information.
Then,
And he doesn't answer the question.
then he's gonna let y'all, but let's get involved. And instead of, like I said, let's talk about this in a civil manner, and let's build something for this community. Hey, for our children.
It is the public comments.
So, hey, you want to be first?
No, they got a list.
Good public comments. Hey, look here, the creek is rising. I love this community. I've loved it for 40 years, and I'm gonna keep loving it. But at the end of the day, you're right, it's our community. The money that will come back here is unbelievable.
All right. We're going to do public comments. We're going to rotate. Let's have those that support line up on this side, opposed on this side, and we'll go back and forth. What's that?
You had to sign in.
All right.
Changing it up.
We'll
Start to sign in.
do the sign up, I think. All right, those that signed up, come on up here first. We need, so we're gonna go back and forth. And then we'll go ahead and do the public comments. Those that, all right?
I know each and every one of y'all is hot out here tonight, as I am, but I want one thing. I want a raise of hands right now. Who's in favor of this and who's opposing? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed, raise your hand. This meeting should be over.
He got, wow.
All right. James McRae. Mike.
Yes. All right, everybody, my name's Jim McRae III. I've been a resident in Grace Creek my entire life, born and raised here, right close to the Cape Fear River. Based on some of the comments, I really don't have much to say, but I did put my name on there, so I feel compelled now. All I have to say, everybody can have their opinion. Ultimately, this is a legal process. It's presented to our legislature. The petition that's been offered has to be presented to show certain qualifications. So really, just think about it. Talk to your neighbors. I think everybody's got a consensus on what they want to do. I just hope whoever makes the decision to sign that petition does so intelligently and informed. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, all you guys, a lot of you probably know me, Mike Waters. I fought all for your water stuff for the lawsuit that just got settled. One of the things that they discussed, they talked the border is going to be 95. One of the things has to be looked at is the borders and the legalities of annexing properties or incorporating areas. If you have a 5,000 person population in an existing city, okay, then there's a rule, 1 mile. The border can't be any closer than 1 mile. If you have 18,000 to 20,000, and I believe it's 16,000 to 20,000, then that means 3 miles. Hope Mills is already past our border. In order to have a border on the direction towards 95, the cutoff would have to be somewhere around H. Bullard or further back. And that's because of that 650 thing. The way this happens is developers go in, they buy the land, they go in, they want sewer and water, and they negotiate to annex into the closest city, which happened to be Hope Mills. So you have areas. It's gonna happen right behind Grace Creek too, high school. You're going to see that big area right there where they talked about Home Depot going in. We're talking across from, I think it's not Sheets. It's past Wawa's, the one that's to the right. There's more housing going in there. So when this goes up to the Commission for Incorporation, by law, not by choice, by law, they have to recommend to the General Assembly disapproval. But they have to go in and the General Assembly, the Commission has to go to Hope Mills and say, do you concur or non-concur with this expansion, this incorporation? They say no. Now you've opened the door that the General Assembly, without a referendum, without any other action, can push a bill that requires 3/5 in both of the two, Senate and House, and they can actually do a legislative forced annexation of Grace Creek into Hope Mills. And that's what's gonna happen. You vote for this, you've just annexed all of that area into Hope Mills. Now, there's 8 services required to stand up and incorporate. It has to be developed in online within 4 years. Police is one of them, fire department, sanitation, roads, lighting, a bunch of those. Okay. I heard you talk about you're gonna contract with 3 different fire departments. Station 18, Station 24, and Cotton. That's 3 separate bills paid for under the 15% right now. That's gonna be absorbed by that total 21%. And how are you going to do we're gonna control our own zoning and our own permitting and our own development. When you have no planning, no zoning, you're gonna contract that from Cumberland County, right? You're not gonna have your own zoning and planning, so you're gonna have to contract it. Okay, that's a bill. It's not cheap. These figures are based, when you go and look at how we're gonna get the money, it's off the tax revenue within an area, based off the populace, the number of people, and the tax valuation. Yeah, they helped us by increasing our tax values in this area through the roof. And God help you if, $10, $20, $1,000, I looked at mine, it's $1,000 more that I'm gonna be paying. On top of what I just got hit, which was already $1,500 additional. I don't buy the 5% above the 15% is gonna play for the police service. And by the way, the number of patrol officers in a platoon in Cumberland County, there's A, B, C, D, E, and then there's an F troop, which is the reserve. There's 12 patrol officers. There's 3 patrol Grace Creek per shift. Not 1, there's 3. Saying that there aren't, I drove around for 30 days, parked in parking lots, and counted the sheriffs driving by in a 12-hour period. And it wasn't just 1. Let's talk about what outside patrol stuff. What happens if there's a murder? Okay. There's no detectives in Grace Creek. Oh, that's a service you have to pay for from the sheriff's department. Arson. That's another one you got to pay. That's under the sheriff's department too. So all of these magical fees are going to start adding up, and it's going to drive up bills. 50 square miles for a city, and you're going to do it on less tax than they pay in Spring Lake and Hope Mills. You are smoking dope. It is not going to happen. You can push all you want to and say that, okay, water, you can have PWC come all day long. Great, you're gonna charge me out of city rates. We get annexed in, now I pay in city rates for PWC polluted water. Has anybody seen the well being drilled on School Road? What is that for? It's for a water tower to provide water to Grace Creek. My understanding, there's supposed to be 4 of them going in. Part of the Grace Creek Water and Sewer District to provide water, not PWC water, water from a managed system inside there. The county is standing up, and Tyson probably didn't show up because he was probably told not to show up by the lawyer. No, I'm being serious. Incorporation has 0 to do with the county. None.
Let the rest of us speak, sir.
Yeah.
Can you wrap it
Yeah,
up?
go on. Drive on. Sir, I'd like to thank you for your effort, if anything. And I know this fellow over here all my life. We grew up beside each other. I said, I know this fellow David all my life. We grew up beside each other. He is a good man. I know what he's telling you, it's coming from the heart. And he's not trying to deceive you or anything else. And I don't believe that you are either. But this is the one thing we got to remember. If we do vote it in, we don't end up with paying more money. We already got trash service. And if you don't want to pay for it, you just drive a mile or so down that road and you can dump your trash right there. Okay? And last time I checked, the people of Grace Creek are pretty manly. We like doing things on our own. Now I got a 1 little acre lot right down the road there, straight across there. The sheriff used to live right across the road from us over there. I got chickens and goats out there. You can't do that in Fayetteville. And I'm getting about sick and tired of anybody from any form of government telling me what I can and can't do. If you do it, they're going to pick somebody that's going to tell you what you can and can't do. That's all government's good for. They are not, absolutely will not provide you with any service whatsoever that you don't already have and we can't already provide for ourselves. It's as simple as that. All you're going to do is pay more for what you're already doing. That's as simple as that. But let me remind you of something. Every one of y'all came down here tonight because it was close by. If you want that county commissioner to listen to you, we got to show up just like we did tonight. We got to show up down there and tell them yahoos, and they are a bunch of yahoos, because how long has our water's been poisoned down here now, and they still ain't done nothing about it. Along with the state and the federal government, they still ain't done nothing about it. If they cared about us, they'd have already done something about it. They don't care about us down here, all right? But I guarantee you, that county and that state legislature, ain't none of y'all been up there to complain about it. Until we start standing up for ourselves, there ain't no politician gonna listen for us. He's out for himself. Don't think that he's not. And I don't care which one it is. But if we stand together and stand up there at the county just like we are here tonight, they'll start paying attention. If they don't hear from you, they're not. Mike Waters, wherever you are, thank you for everything you've done for us here in Grace Creek also. Take everything I said with a grain of salt because I ain't that bright to start off with, so I'll leave it at that.
Get on mine.
Hey, I just want to clarify, I understand I was somewhat unclear. I'm not for the incorporation. I just wanted to inform everyone, if you do decide, whatever you decide, do so intelligently. So just clarifying that.
All right, I just want to clarify one other thing as well. Mike Waters was correct about the border. There is a border resolution that it could be up to 3 miles. That would probably kill the incorporation effort. But if Hope Mills and Fayetteville do not agree to this border resolution, meaning they do agree to the proposed municipal boundaries, this is a clear insight of their intent of coming into Grace Creek. So if they do not sign this petition, and I was unable to get the border resolution because of the last couple months they were in budget meetings, they did not entertain a meeting with me to resolve the border conflict. But they did guarantee a meeting in August if we do have the support to push this through. But just to emphasize, if they don't agree to our borders, and it would require a 60%, as he said, 3/5, a 60% vote of approval in the General Assembly to incorporate in the General Assembly approval process. So it would not be a dead issue. It would just require, instead of a 50%, it would require a 60% approval in the Joint Assembly.
Hi, my name is Craig Allen. I live right across the street from Richard, actually.
And I'm here to tell you now, Fayetteville and Hope Mills is not coming to us. There's already been state legislation that has passed that stops forced annexation. They cannot come for us.
$800,000.
$800,000. You know how much it costs to pave 1 mile of road? About $400,000. So you have 50 square miles of road that he's anticipating in making the town. You're gonna get your road paved about once every 60 years. So Powellville funds was not gonna cover maintaining the roads, much less traffic signals, sidewalks, or anything else. And that's all I have.
And I see it's happening here. So over the last couple of days, I've been digging into the state rules and regulations, their statutes. To be annexed, property owners must annex that. Now, they can do it against our will by holding a ballot, but then we have to come out and show up. Somebody mentioned about the going to county meetings. I took this County Citizens Academy some years ago, and there's a lot of good information over there. What I did like is that the doc indicated he's the sole petitioner. What I didn't like is this young lady over here showed me an online petition that showed 500 some people already signed a 500 petition. He talked about economic development and sales tax. Economic development and sales tax of the entire area goes to the county, and it's portioned out to the different communities. So the county gets the portion for us. Now, Fayetteville was trying to get more of that portion some years ago. It comes up every so many years, I forget the number. So Fayetteville's always going to ask for more because they have all the business. What do we have to offer over here to get sales tax? We don't own the exchange over by 95. If you went onto the website, that 95 exchange belongs to Hope Mills. We don't own that. The properties that are over there off of Corporation and off of Celebration, those two property owners, the people who own the property, they asked Hope Mills to annex them, and Hope Mills annexed them. So those properties belong to Hope Mills. We're not getting any of those tax dollars, they're going to Hope Mills. Now, that's one area. So he talked about the recreation. It's a Fayetteville, Cumberland County recreation. Over at the elementary school or the whatever, they have a senior center over there. You have a ballpark way out there somewhere, out in the county. Been out there, there's a nice ballpark, several fields out there. So the county does provide for some of this stuff. Now, we said one deputy. I agree. There's been more than one deputy. And at one time, there was gunfire out on Chickenfoot. I called, they were there within 3 minutes. 2 units went racing down Chickenfoot towards the direction I told them, and 1 unit came to my house to get the report. And while he was there, they heard the gunshot again. He left to go after that. So it's not just one deputy. Now the roads. I understand my roads are state-owned. So the county doesn't do anything on my roads. But if I have a pothole, I just notify the state and they come in and take care of it. So we're going to pay taxes, the trash payment. So I did look, there's part of the general statute is that if there's multiple trash providers in this county or in this annexed area, we have to go and we have to do some kind of negotiations with all 3 of them and then make a determination from that. So who gets the end result? If you're not paying for trash right now, you're going to pay for trash with this incorporation. He talked about he wants to keep it small. The general statute requires that if we're annexed, we have to have a finance officer. You don't think the finance officer is going to do all the paperwork that goes along, so we're going to have a clerk, or 2, or 3. We're going to have a building for these people. We're going to have equipment. Oh, wait a minute, we have to have IT to run this IT system. Oh, we need IT security, that's another person. I mean, there's so much more here. So we got the property to deal with. just the land to build this building on. We got the building, we got vehicles, we got equipment, IT, tech support, software licensing. You know, we get that software on our computers, it comes with it. Well, our kids put on the other software that they pirate it and put it on our computer. That's wrong, but there's a licensing that costs for that. So this 0.21, that's today. What's it going to be tomorrow or the next day? Office supplies, postage, telephone. Talked about Celebration Drive traffic. You know, the school traffic we see going in and out? Well, Chickenfoot doesn't belong to the town. It belongs to the state. Where's the traffic? It's on Chickenfoot. Sure, it's on those side roads. But those people who live there know not to go out there at that time because of school traffic. When my kids were going to school at Grace Creek Elementary, the middle school and the high school, my wife sat in that line just like every other mother sits or dad sits in that line. Anyway, I can't think of anything else. I'm opposed to it, and let's hope we're all opposed to it.
Hi there, my name's Joe Fallon. I also live in Bridlewood. I agree with one of the gentlemen who spoke earlier. Man, it's pretty hot in here. But anyway, I came here with an open mind, and I'm gathering information, and I still haven't made up my mind. But the unanswered question from the doc's presentation, there will be a board of commissioners, and there'll be 3 vacancies.
Representatives.
Will there be a chairman of the board, or will there be a separate officer in that board of commissioners?
There'll be a mayor and.
There'll be a mayor. Also brings up another thing, and it's been very interchangeable. Will we be a city or a township? A town. Okay. If that happens, Hope Mills and Fayetteville cannot annex us. Okay. The other thing is, if there's going to be vacancies per year on this board of commissioners, there's going to be local elections every year?
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years?
Every year. Every year.
Every year? Okay.
Two rotating off every year.
Okay, and that'll be a separate ballot, separate from the county? And how, will it be incorporated into a general election or just here?
General election.
A general election?
Right on.
Okay, you answered my questions. Thank you.
Hi, my name is David Alden. I'm retired military. Most of you probably don't know me because I keep to myself. But nice to stand before you. I just want to say that I'm a veteran. I'm retired. I live on a fixed income. I'm not interested in increasing my tax burden. So a few small set of people can have more visibility over zoning. I don't think it's worth it. I do have a couple questions. The people that have already signed your petition, do they realize that if you achieve your 15% number of votes, that if it then gets approved by the subcommittee for a recommendation to the General Council or General Assembly, that if they say yes, go for it, then essentially 15% of the people in Grace Creek would have just decided for the rest of us to incorporate it. Do they realize that? Because on your website, it says something about a vote, but that's really only in case of a referendum.
So
there will be no vote, as far as I understand it.
So there will be a vote after General Assembly to the residents of Grace Creek if it gets approved.
He said that there would be a vote if it gets approved, but my understanding is, from reading the documents provided by the General Assembly, is that the decision's up to them.
So the process is, I would have to submit the application to a subcommittee of municipal incorporation. That would have to be done by October 1st. Before the General Assembly starts meeting in January. So the regular session of the General Assembly will be brought up, if it does happen in the next 30 days, would be between January and May, where the General Assembly would make a decision both House and Senate would have to make a decision, and then it would come back to Grace Creek for a vote on final approval.
Could you post that document on your website?
Yeah.
With sources?
Yeah.
I read the Cumberland County, what's it called? The land use plan that was developed by Cumberland County for South Central Cumberland County, which is this area. And it was very specific, had a lot of details on it, and it included a zoning plan. Are you against that zoning plan, or do you just want to have more control over it? And remember this, I mean, that document was made by people from this area.
Yeah. Let me cover that. Yeah, so the zoning land use plan would be a separate, that would be the planning department. That process will start next month. They will inform you all of that effort. That was last published.
Like 2015, 16.
So Hope Mills, the Hope Mills land use plan was just released and is going to be voted on next month. Grace Creek is going to be the next one, and that starts on the 19th of next month. It starts at 4 o'clock as their initial meeting on August 19th, and that will begin at J.D. Pone Recreation Center. We would need a steering committee that's unrelated to the Township Incorporation. But basically, this is the guideline and map of the zoning requirements of Grace Creek. So this process over the next 8 months will basically tell the zoning commissioners whether to keep the agricultural zoning or whether they allow high density zoning. It will basically be the guidebook of zoning. The approval process, so the joint planning will use this guide that the residents will provide that as a guide for future land development. So that would be equally important as having our own municipal authorization and final approval that would go to the county or the municipal board, the mayor and the commissioners for the final approval. The last couple months, there was a plot of land on Farmhouse Road that the county commissioners debated for over 30 minutes, and it went back to the joint commission. Basically, we would have that authorization in Grace Creek by our residents to determine whether that would be approved or not, instead of the county commissioners. One comment from the county commissioners, if you listen to it, was that we have to do it because the age of the farm owner. And so this housing district was basically put back into zoning to be considered to incorporate 50 housing department or 50 housing on Farmhouse Road on a plot of land. But this will be basically the guide that planners will use. And they will be asking for residents to be a part of that steering committee, and that information will be provided by the county in the near future about that meeting on August 19th.
Okay, I'm concerned that people are making that decision without having that information at this time. You talk about the tax rate, it's kind of talked about a little bit, but real quick, the average municipal tax rate in Cumberland County is 38 cents per that $100. The average municipal tax rate across the state of North Carolina is 40 cents. So when I look at this and I say, oh, we got a deal at 21 cents, something in my head says, oh, we need to be prepared for an increase in that tax up to what the average is, given our size, not only in square mileage, but also in population. When I look at towns across the North Carolina, just, here and there, they're closer to that average. So I don't think we're gonna be able to get it done at 21 cents. And I'd rather not take a chance on it.
Every penny that we raise would be about 230, or every penny that we raise is about $237,000 to our economy, or to our budget. Our total property value is $2.37 billion in Grace Creek, times 21 cents per tax rate, along with the sales tax, utility franchise tax, permits, development costs, recreation fees. Our budget, sorry about that. Our revenue is about $17 million, and my budget is about $10 million. So there's an excess of about $6 million in revenue.
Do you have a copy of the budget?
It's online.
Spring Lake has a property value of just over 1 billion and their tax rate is 75 cents. So, I don't know, if I double that and have their tax rate, it comes out to about 35, 38 cents, which is close to the average. So, I do still have concerns about that. Final question. Can you describe, in terms of the issues, number of households, and demographic groups, the needs study that you conducted and how it led you to the decision to create the petition to incorporate Grace Creek?
All right. So there's 4,500 houses. There's 25,000 residents in Grace Creek, 13,500 registered voters, and about 10,000 unregistered voters and students. So that totals about 25,000 people. When I moved here in 2005, Grace Creek population was about 7,000, 8,000 people. You know that Grace Creek has changed over the last several years, and it will change in the near future, especially when they put the water systems up. There was going to be water. These farmhouses, these farmlands are going to be developed. We're going to double, projection-wise, we're going to have about 50,000 people in Grace Creek in the near future. Now, I don't know how long that's going to be, but we are going to see an increase in density in the area. And that's not going to be controlled by the residents if we do not incorporate. My decision to incorporate is basically an idea that I have. Now, will I cry at night if this doesn't happen? No. Okay? I will live on my life. I will go on to my other duties and not think about it anymore. I am here to propose an idea. If there is not the interest, if there's not the 2,000 people, and I don't see that, there's strong objection of increasing the protection of Grace Creek, of controlling the population by, planning and development, and, incorporating this into a town. It's not going to happen, and I'm not going to lose 2 sleeps at night. I just ask, as a resident here, that if you see me in Food Line, you don't call me any more names, okay? I appreciate the respect that you guys offered me today. I know that's been loud in here, but I'm just proposing, I'm a good guy, okay? I have a business here in Fayetteville, I'm a Grace Creek resident, and I've been here for 22 years, since 2005. Please don't beat me up. I'm throwing an idea, to incorporate as a town. And if I don't have the support, it's going to change. I think you will see Hope Mills and Fayetteville approaching. I do hear, the stories of them approaching, and, that's what you want. That's what you're going to get. If we do not incorporate, we're going to see encroachment of Fayetteville and Hope Mills. I will see you, I will pretty much think I can guarantee in 5 years, you're gonna see Grace Creek different.
So let me rephrase my question. Did you get a survey or talk to people within the community? Like, that's what I meant by, in terms of, like, who did you talk to within the community and you got their, assess their needs? That then led you to go down this road, or was it just your idea?
Like, why is it was my idea in discussion with the sheriff. I mean, they told me that there's one area that's being patrolled by a deputy, fire districts. We love our fire districts. I'm not having any issues with that. But I just vision a possibility of Grace Creek incorporating in town. I had talked with other people and talked with the mayor of Eastover in the past. I talked with several mayors, including Hope Mills, Fayetteville, and other mayors about incorporating into the town. And several people in government has wondered why Grace Creek hasn't incorporated. It is time, but if it's not the time right now, I'm going to go on my way and go for it.
Thank you, Dr. Twaddell. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm not going door to door to solicit names. If people aren't interested, it's not going to happen. Yeah.
I was standing in front of them. When I got in line, there was no one there but me. Good evening. Probably only nobody in here that knows me. My name is Maria Curry. I live here in the Grace Creek community, live off of Sand Hill Road. My one and only concern and comment here is that since we want to represent the people of Grace Creek, I found out about this event going on about at 3 o'clock. So for those people, and I'm on Facebook, but I'm not on Facebook like that. And I know for that older population and some of the younger people, if you're not on Facebook, how are those people getting notification about what's going on in their community, what wants to be done with their community? Are you including them in that representation? And if not, how are you going to do that? Because to be fair, if you want all of us represented, all of us should have some information. I received nothing in the mail.
Amen.
I'm on Facebook, didn't see nothing on Facebook, won't look for it really. But if everybody's gonna be included, include everyone. I moved out here in '94, when my road was still a dirt, well, no, it wasn't dirt, the road beside me was still a dirt road. And yes, I've seen it grown a lot, and I understand your concerns, but how are we going to be well represented? That's my comment.
I tried to reach out to as many people as I can. I have I've not received any money for this campaign. This is solely funded by me. So any reaching out to people is my own expense. I am a middle-class person. I have one house, I have one car. I live with my means. I really don't want a lot of taxes myself. But I'm trying to reach out to as many people as I can. And, I tried different means, and different means didn't work out, but, we go from there.
Philosophical question.
There was one more item that I forgot to mention. He mentioned about the fire and the police. One of the things that, according to General Statute 160A-58.2A, assumption of debt. So when we get that contract offer from the fire department or the sheriff's office, you're going to pass some of that debt over to us. So we're going to end up paying on that debt. That's going to be part of that cost. We're not just paying for somebody's time. We're paying for their building, we're paying for their vehicles. So just remember that it's not just their time.
The fire department is their own corporation.
They have their own board.
So my name's Susan Riddle. I'm just an average person in the community, lived here a long time, had my kids go to the school. The Eastover commissioner that came here to answer questions, when he was pressed on those questions, he said that he was just here to answer questions. He was here initially to influence us to sit there and accept the incorporation. So just remember that. When you sit there and think about the city of Fayetteville, I'm just repeating some of the stuff that's already been said. We cannot be forcibly annexed into the city of Fayetteville or the town of Hope Mills. The majority of us have been here a long time. We're not going to see that happen in our lifetime. We're not going to see water out at my house in my lifetime. We're not going to see any type of change in the sheriff's department. It is going to cost $1.2 million to have 9 deputies patrol this area 24/7. Think about that. And that is not covered in a basic plan. We're not going to have all of this tax money coming in. Second, the ballpark, there are members that are supporting this incorporation, but they let they are members of the Rueton Club, they signed away the community's rights to sit there and have recreation funds spent on that ballpark. So that's something that's not out there known. That's what happened. Next, I covered the deputies, covered the commissioner. A text message was sent out to several people in the community. I know 2 people that accepted, that received that message. I was here last time and spoke. I didn't receive a message. What I did was I took the papers that were handed out to me, I made copies of them and I handed it out to my neighbors and my community members. If we don't want to be incorporated, we're going to have to show out in force wherever we're at. I am not in favor of being taxed for benefits that extra benefits I'm not going to receive. My taxpayer money is too high. Next, on the text message, it was the person who sent out the text message was notified because it said that the date was 9/16. That was September 16th. So when you sit there and think about that, it was notified to the sender that the text message was incorrect, and they were told they were not going to have another one sent out, that they did not want that sent out. So that does not bode well for clear and open communication. The next thing I want to ask, the petition signers who were that you were meeting and greeting at the Food Lion, were those renters, were they told that their rent is going to go up because their taxes of the property owners are going to go up? Who knows? And for someone who is not losing sleep over the incorporation of the community, then why are we here? Because the majority of us who are opposing this are the ones who are losing sleep over this not being incorporated. I don't want anybody telling me what I can do with my property. That's not what I want. I don't want the town of Hope Mills coming. I don't want the city of Fayetteville. But I will be the one who shows up at the commissioners meeting to sit there and take care of this. I was told that it would cost $30,000 to send mail letters to every community resident. Then if you're going to do that, come up with the money and do it proper, and don't just sit there and piecemeal the community together in a personal way. Thank you.
Hey, good evening. As you can tell from my accent, I'm an import. And I came here in 1998, moved into my house in 1998, and I've lived there ever since. And I paid my taxes to the Cumberland County people down there. I paid it well. I've got nothing out of it. I still have shit water, excuse my French, bucket water. My roads, I have to fix myself. We have to chase them around to get the edges cut, the fringes cut, and they started doing that now. But other than that, you're getting nothing from Cumberland County. And just recently, they increased your taxes. They increased the value of your property, and you just say, yeah, great stuff, Cumberland County, increase my property taxes and let me pay. Because that's what I do. I just pay. Because I'm a good old boy. I pay. What are you getting? Everybody's saying, what are we going to get if we incorporate? You're gonna get more than what you're getting from Cumberland County people now. No, I'll tell you something else. Invited to this meeting tonight were commissioners from the Cumberland County, the representative for this area at the NC State, at the NC Parliament there, the fire chief, the chief of police, the sheriff. All these people are invited. Do you see any of them here? No, because they don't give a shit about you. They don't care about what you do. That is true because they had 4 weeks to get here. Now, going on from that, what benefits have you received from your increase in taxes? Nothing. Okay. Now, who is going to say what will be built next to your property? You're on a nice 2-acre land and you've got 3 acres beside you, which is owned by the good old Farmer John. And he says, I can't deal with this land anymore. Somebody goes to him and says, hey, that's an ideal place to put a data center, a wind farm, or a solar farm right next to you. What are you going to do? Knowing Cumberland County commissioners, and you're going to complain, they will just say, yeah, we take it, but he's an old man and we need to help him. Not what you want. He's an old man, we need to help him, so we're going to go ahead and allow the data center to go there. Right, you say, yeah. But every building they put on, every estate, subdivision they put up, do they better the roads? No. Look at Fennel Road where they built all those houses. It's still a 2-lane, nothing. Have they put any more traffic lights at Throw Road? No. Have they increased anything? They've done nothing. They're building houses, but they're not doing anything for it. Hey? Your building, which is great, you can still build. But then you can get the roadman to come in and build a better road. More business, more jobs. So he said. Yeah. Go on ahead, boss. Hang on, let me just see what this boss wants.
Hey, you gotta tell good joke.
Okay.
You gotta tell good joke.
Come on, boss. Have a speak.
I've got one question, folks. The doctor said there's 25,000 people in Grace Creek, and he's got 500 signatures. What does that tell you?
Tells you that people. Hey, I'll tell you what that tells you is that there's people in Grace Creek. Hang on. People in Grace Creek are not informed, and whether he's got his message across or not, people in Grace Creek are not informed. All the good old boys are here. All the good old boys that have lived there for 30 years, 20 years, 50 years, own daddy's land and got a tractor and a trailer and everything else. They're here, but not the people that count. And the people that count are the people in the new subdivisions. That's where you're going to go to. Anyway, that's where we're going to go to. We're not going to worry about the good old boys. We'll go to those people that are in the new subdivisions that don't want any of this nonsense. They're imports. Old people, old money, don't count anymore. Thank you.
I just want to say right quick, have anybody else noticed how uncomfortable the few people that he had listed to show up and speak, how uncomfortable they looked up here trying to speak? I do know of one person that he wanted here that would not come, and when he kept going to her place of work, he dropped off a page, a scripted page that he wanted her to say while she was here. So that may tell you a whole lot about why some of the others aren't here.
Vanessa.
Hey guys, my name's Charlie Allen. I've only been doing comedy for a couple of years, so I've been working on this set. I think it's really great, and I was very surprised that so many people showed up tonight. I got here at about 5:30, and 3-4 times a year, my cycling club rides out of here on Sundays, and we have lunch here. We have our annual meeting here where we do our votes. And I've never seen this many people here on a Sunday after church. There's overlay districts and a couple others. I'm not a bureaucrat, I'm not an attorney, but I think that we should continue to have this conversation, because if we don't take control in one way or another, not necessarily a municipality, but we need to continue to have this open conversation to figure out how we can block out the development that we don't want here. Everybody's here because they don't want development, right? Clap. Apartment complexes. When you have a chance, next time you're going down Chickenfoot Road, take a right on Corporation Drive, and then take another right on that new neighborhood behind Dirtbag. And what I want you to do is, as you drive behind Dirtbag, I want you to look down at the ground, and I want you to look at how close each of those water meters are. 15, 20 feet apart. Water meter, water meter, water meter, water meter. What does that mean? Each of those water meters is a place that families will live in our community. And we didn't have a chance to decide on that. So I think continue to have an open conversation, not necessarily where we have a pre-planned out thing that we just have to sign up for because it's the only thing that we have to sign. But I think continue to have a conversation about how we can achieve this is important. So I don't think completely blocking out any kind of movement on taking a hold of our community is a good thing. I think we should reset, fall all the way back to what is it that everybody wants to achieve. What is it that we want? Make a list, vote on each thing, have community engagement, and then figure out how can we do that together as a community. Because that's the only way that we can move forward, is if we're all together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sounding the response, I don't think I will get the 2,000 at this event. So with that being said, the effort will probably be on hold. Slow down and consider that another date perhaps.